Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show. So it seems like you guys really enjoy me finding the best, most outrageous Dave Ramsey content of all time and then sharing my thoughts on it. So today, that's exactly what we're doing. I have found some absolutely wild videos from Dave Ramsey that people have lost their minds over, although instead of it being on debt, it's instead on relationships. So with that said, you guys, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Oh, and also, big thank you to Bird Dogs for sponsoring today's video, but more on that later. Enjoy.
There's a thing called Instagram, if you're unaware, and it's my social media of choice. I don't really do Twitter. I don't really do Facebook. I do love Instagram.
I look at Instagram.
Does Dave Ramsey follow me back on Instagram? Let me check. That would be amazing. If he follows me on Instagram, I would die. Not literally, by the way. Oh, he's only following 61 people. No, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them, but you know what? That's okay. I'll still follow Dave. I love Dave Ramsey. So how about this, you guys? If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just GP Stephan. Any other account on Instagram that pretends to be me, it's not that. It's a scam. So we'll continue.
This one clip has been sent to me, I'm not kidding, probably 10 times from 10 random people all over the world that are just like, can you believe this guy? Can you, this. And I kept seeing it come up.
You know it's going to be a banger though. When more than one person sends you the same clip, it always does well. There's this thing where it's like if I get more than like a few dozen comments of people requesting a topic, every time I talk about the topic, blows up because people really want to hear about it. So anytime I get the same requests, I know that is what a lot of people want to hear. And for them too, when people send them stupid videos online, you know they're going to do well, as evidenced with this video. They got 1 million views in 10 months.
It's a father-daughter, which you'll see. And I just thought, well, here's a father-daughter. And I don't want to harp on them.
Yes,
I want to harp at the situation.
I do.
Again, this is why it's so important to always to hit the like button. But also, hear different perspectives. You're about to hear a perspective that I'll let you decide for yourself.
We're at a car dealership right now, and she's about to buy her first car.
By the way, I find it very funny that it's a video of me reacting to Dave Ramsey reacting to a TikTok. How's that for Inception?
This morning, I went to the bank. I got my first car loan.
At what interest rate?
3.5%. With the money that I have saved up, I have $7,000 in cash. I'm going to invest that into an Airbnb property and get 14% interest back, so that way I can use that money to pay off my car loan. So basically, kind of getting a car for free.
Gosh. Okay, so she's taking insurmountable risk to go and pay for her car loan that she didn't need in the first place. So I find it nice. Father's helping his daughter buy her first car. That's commendable. But why go and take out a loan for a car when she could just buy a car outright in cash with the money that she has already? Skip the car loan entirely. Or, better yet, if she's gonna get a car loan, okay, some people are gonna hate me for this, but if she's going to get a car loan, what I would tell my daughter is, we're going to get you a car loan, but your budget, if you have $7,000 in cash, we're going to spend $4,000 of that in cash, and then we're going to get a car loan for like $1,000. So that way, you're buying a car that's $5,000, and then you could pay off the loan over the course of a year, get some more trade history on your credit report that'll help boost it up. It'll show you that you had a auto loan. It's going to help your credit score. You'll pay a small amount of interest, but it's negligible at that point. You're going to build your credit. In the long term, it's not going to matter. And that way, she's not spending $15,000 on a first car. That's stupid. Not only that, but then she's using the difference of the money that she has to go and invest in an Airbnb to pay for everything. No! Her investing in an Airbnb, I'm going to tell you what she's doing. She's putting a deposit down on a rental property, most likely, then is going to list the property for rent on Airbnb and then profit the difference. So if she's paying $1,000 a month to the landlord, she's thinking, well, I can make $2,000 a month renting it on Airbnb and I'll profit the difference. It's not free money. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of risk. There's a lot that could go wrong, and her car loan is at the epicenter of all of this that she didn't need to begin with.
Wait, what's that called?
Arbitrage.
Boom! You buy assets that then cash flow and pay for your stuff.
Any father, by the way, that ends it with boom is probably not the one to listen to financial advice from when it's that much money and you're so young and there's so much that could go wrong. I mean, yes, in theory, what she's doing, arbitrage, makes sense. The interest rate on a car, 3.5%, that's fantastic. but she shouldn't be spending $15,000 on a car. Just to go and put that on an Airbnb to make the difference. It just doesn't make sense to me. She'd be much better off buying a cheap, reliable car and then arbitrage the difference. How about this even better? She could borrow the entire amount of the car up to $5,000, get a loan from the bank, $5,000. She's got $5,000 in cash, invest the $5,000 cash, pay off the car loan for $5,000. There we go. She could pay it off, but she's not going to. I like that a lot better.
You can't buy an
Or
Airbnb
$7,000
property for $11,000
Yes,
either. You
that's
could
what I was
invest
like,
in
I
it
don't-
with a bunch of partners into an Airbnb property, and
But
that's
what she would-
assuming the Airbnb property stays rented and the local city council doesn't pass a law against Airbnbs, in which case your little butt would be broke at 15 years old because your father's a moron.
Oh, Colin, imagine this poor girl watching this and have Dave Ramsey call your father a moron. He's not exactly wrong, though, but what they're not understanding, she's not buying an Airbnb. Most likely, like I mentioned earlier, she's renting an Airbnb, and $10,000, plenty to get started. I mean, you're just really talking about your first month rent, security deposit, some furniture, and then you pray. You pray to the Airbnb gods that a tenant is there to pay you enough to make the money back.
Number one, you have never met a millionaire. We studied 10,167 of them. Zero of them, precisely zero, said, I borrowed money on my car and arbitraged it into being a millionaire. Zero.
Yeah, but you know what? It's the small principles that do add up over time. Although, you know what? Slight tangent here, but I do want to say that when it comes to spending money, I have noticed a difference between spending it on things that's maybe not the best quality and buying a few essential items that are kind of worth it. And fun story, actually, but a few months ago, there was a company called Bird Dogs that reached out to me and wanted to send me a few pieces to see if I'd enjoy wearing them. And they ended up sending me a few pairs of pants and shorts, and then I just kind of wore them nonstop. They had this like fabric lining in them that in a way almost replaces underwear. But the reason I honestly really like them so much is because they're just so insanely comfortable. And guess what? We kept in touch and I liked them enough and wore them enough that eventually they said, Graham, we want to sponsor an episode. And I said, absolutely, because I love it, and I'm wearing them right now. Like lately, I've been wearing their khakis when I film a podcast episode because they look a little bit more professional, and they're designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Even though I've been skipping leg day, but you wouldn't know it. Hopefully. Anyway, to put it into context, Bird Dogs do the same thing as Lululemon, except they fit way better. They also fit way better than regular shorts that are made with a stiff, restricting cotton because there's a little stretch to them, so no matter how you're moving, they move with you. They did this by inventing a cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki, and you get an anti-stink, sweat-wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day, even when it's 110 degrees outside like it is here in Las Vegas. Look, I'm just really happy they decided to become a sponsor because I'm wearing them all the time, wearing them right now. I would talk about them regardless of whether or not they sponsored a video because I just like them as a company, and I think you will too. So if you're interested to see what I'm talking about, go to birddogs.com/Graham or use the link down below in the description and use code Graham to get a free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. Again, that's birddogs.com/Graham or using the link down below in the description. Use code Graham and you'll get a free tumbler with it. You're not going to want to take your bird dogs off, I promise you. And with that said, let's get back to the video.
She didn't even know what the interest rate was. Go back and watch the clip again. She's, and they had to edit it. What was it? Oh, 3.5. Well, tell him again,
she's
Matt.
15.
Tell him again, darling, what you did. Oh. She doesn't even know what she did.
You know what would be interesting? It's a great life lesson because here's the deal. If she succeeds at this, it's going to give her a lot of confidence to go and do it again. And if she fails at this, what a lesson to learn when you're 15 years old. What a lesson. I mean, yeah, a lot could go wrong. But I have a feeling, okay? I have a feeling the dad's probably an Airbnb expert. The dad's probably coaching her along on what to do. The dad's probably making a ton of money on the back end through the TikTok, maybe some affiliates or whatever else he has to offer. So most likely, you know, his daughter's not going to end up like on the streets, bankrupt. Most likely the dad's going to be there kind of guiding her and teaching her along the way. As advice though, Incredibly risky.
A kid can't have a mutual fund. You have to have a custodial account. That's why a kid can't have a savings account or a checking account. You have to have a parent on there as a custodian because kids can't contract. They can't buy beer and they can't borrow money from a car dealer.
But they can, though, with a parent cosigner. I mean, listen, I know it's more so on the parents. They got to have income and stuff like that and a good score to begin with to get a rate like that. Her dad's probably like A+ financials. But overall, I mean, I tend to agree more with Dave Ramsey. Actually, I mostly agree with Dave Ramsey. It's risky otherwise.
Find people who have actually done your theory. Find me one who 15 years later, using that type of system, is a millionaire or greater. You can't find them because they're not there. They're not there.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
Let me ask you this question.
The thing is, leverage isn't anything new. It's like they're calling it arbitrage, mentioning Airbnb, okay, fine. But leveraging money has been around since, I don't know, the beginning of time. People have been leveraging this and leveraging that and borrowing this and paying back that. It's no difference. Had she said, I'm going to take out a loan to buy my first car 100% and then invest the money in an index fund, because index funds historically go up by 7% adjusted for inflation over 20, 50 years, and my car loan's fixed for 3.5%. So, inflation's higher than the interest rate I'm paying on my car, so that's good. If she had just said that, I think people would wrap their minds around it, but I guess it's the Airbnb aspect. It's so much riskier than that. That is a high chance of something going wrong.
A book, The 7 Secrets to Getting Rich. Here's the problem. It's not a secret. There's not a magic sauce. There's not a magic sauce. McDonald's special sauce is basically Thousand Island.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the In-N-Out sauce. Thousand Island dressing. I thought everybody knew this. The only sauce that we got to figure out is whatever that Good Burger sauce is, right? They had that secret sauce. I've always been curious about that.
They're looking for a shortcut.
I mean, that's what it is. That's what I'm saying.
And they're brilliant. They're brilliant. They know things because they're on TikTok. And they know, oh, God, shoot me. I'm having trouble finding intelligent life on TikTok.
The thing with TikTok, though, is that the more outrageous it is, the more views it's going to get. So it pushes the narrative that you have to be, like, over the top. You have to share these kind of wild things because that's all people talk about nowadays. Is like the most outrageous stuff. It's the extremes on either end that gather probably like 99% of the views and content are those extremes. Talk about anything in the middle, people ignore you. So you have to almost play into that. Speaking of extremes, though, we have this video here. It's just titled, My Husband Makes $975,000 a Year and Won't Let Me Stay Home. It's probably going to elicit quite a few comments and people who have things to say, but let's watch the video. I'll give you my own thoughts, and I'd love to hear your perspective as well. Just keep watching this.
Mercedes is with us in Toronto, Canada. Hi, Mercedes. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
It would be funny if she's like, my husband won't buy me a Mercedes. That would be funny, like a Mercedes wanting a Mercedes. I bet she drives a Mercedes. You have to, right? You have to drive a Mercedes if your name is Mercedes. I've never met a BMW, though. I have met a Mercedes, never BMW.
How to ask my husband to be able to kind of be a stay-home mom? I feel like I really want to spend time raising our little one.
Cool. What a great goal. So does he make enough money for y'all to live on?
He makes about $9.75.
$975,000. It'd be funny if he's like, yeah, $9.75 an hour. He makes $9.75 an hour. Yeah.
It's going to be sitting down and talking to him from the heart. I mean, just point blank.
I mean, it's not like you guys need the money. This is why this is so flabbergasting.
Yeah.
So
I know.
Why does he go do all of that if it's not so that your family can do what they want to do?
I would love to hear the husband on the other line and say, here are the reasons why I think she should be going to work. Maybe it's because, we have nannies and, he wants her to contribute something. I'm sure there's quite a few valid reasons maybe why he wants her to continue working. I just say, maybe we should hear the other perspective too and come to an agreement between it that, financially, I'd say they could afford it. Absolutely. I think that's without question. Financially, they could do without her working and bringing in any income. I would more so wonder why.
This idea that somehow full-time motherhood is not is somehow to be shamed or to be looked down upon is absolute BS.
Well, and I think, Mercedes,
Yeah.
that's where you've got to talk to him and lead with the heart.
See, maybe there's a sense there where he feels like, if I'm going out, I'm the one working all the time, and you're just staying home. Okay, now listen, I know, raising kids, I'm sure, full-time plus some, very not rewarding sort of, work there. I get it, underappreciated. But maybe from his perspective, I'm just trying to throw out things on the wall here, see what sticks. Maybe he feels not as appreciated if he's going out and doing all this stuff and she's not pulling enough weight. Maybe. Spitballing here, okay?
This is a high calling. And it has dignity, it has value, it has worth, equivalent to anything you could do in the workplace. No shame, no guilt, and should be no hesitation financially or economically.
I mean, Dave Ramsey really said it best. I can't comment any better than that because I don't have kids. I've not been in that position. Part of me does believe, though, this should be discussed before getting married, before having kids. I think it would be a fantastic time to bring this up of like, hey, honey, we have kids. What do you want to do? What's the plan here? If the husband's like, I would prefer you work, at least do something part-time, bring in something, I don't know, just whatever agreement they had prior to that. And obviously things can change. I get that. Just because you came to an agreement years ago before kids and maybe you had kids and you're like, oh man, this is more work than I expected. I prefer to just do this. I just have a feeling these are conversations that should have been brought up earlier if they haven't already. And I think it would be a great idea to get his perspective.
Just turn off the television, take his phone away from him, set the baby in his lap, and point at the baby and say, what's more important than that?
Or take off for about a week.
Let him handle it.
Let him handle it. He will find you, honey. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, so I have a feeling overall this is probably a good question for like family counseling. A good therapist is probably going to be the best source. Financially, if they call Dave Ramsey, financially, they don't have to worry about having a second income, okay? To me, this seems like more of a fundamental relationship issue that should be discussed with a therapist at length so they could hear both sides and maybe come to an agreement between the two. Perhaps, it sounds like her husband has a very strict view on what he believes to be, good for raising a family and watching his mother have 3 jobs. I think that's ingrained in him to always work. You're always going to be working at something. Not to say motherhood isn't working, but I'm just saying going and bringing in an income, coming back, that's probably his idea of, what a mother would be, is like his mother. She has a different view of that. So we don't know what was discussed before, but my honest thought is get a good therapist, spend a lot of time working through that and see if you can come to, an agreement between them. I think that would make me happy. I'd love a follow-up on this, and I'd love to hear his perspective. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. As always, feel free to add me on Snapchat and Instagram. And don't forget, Bird Dogs is our sponsor. Honestly, they're awesome. I'll probably talk about them. Honestly, they're awesome. I just really enjoy them, and I do legitimately wear them nonstop. So enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.